Yes, I'm in my dressing gown and it's cold and it's freezing. But I just wanted to experience the morning. It's just such a beautiful day. Jack Frost has arrived, but it's clear blue skies. I am feeling a little bit rough. I've had an awful cold, which has taken me out from filming anything and editing anything. But today I'm doing a bit of a rob. I'm walking around in the garden in my dressing gown, and that's partly because I haven't been filming and I haven't had time to film much, but also because he stole a piece of my music, so I think it's fair that I just steal the way that he marches out in his dressing gown and talks to the camera outside occasionally. Anyway, today we're going to do something new because it's a new year, and so new things must happen in the video. This year you might see some news clips come up about what's happening in the region, if you'd like that. Some of the news in France currently is that we're going to have cheaper electricity, and that's good news, especially when the weather's like this. You have to look at this, look at what I'm walking into. I wouldn't want to end up in there. Oh, I hope he's enjoying it anyway. Yeah, I wonder what the temperature of the river is. Certainly not swimmable. He's loving it. Albie's going, why is it so cold? What's happened to the weather? One of the new things we're going to do this year is to talk to our friends that we've made whilst we've been here in France, and to see how their lives have changed since they moved to France. Some have been here for years, some just a few years like us. So I think it should be quite interesting to hear their pros and cons. And first off, across the river is a lovely couple, Jim and Julian. So this is a new thing. Never done this before.
Okay.
I mean, I've interviewed people before, but in our little series, we've never done Meet the People.
Meet the people.
You're cheating, really, because you're new to France, but you are French.
I'm French, yes.
So it's a bit of a cheat.
Yeah.
So really, I suppose the biggest effect is on you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, how are you coping this?
So, I think the thing I worried about the most when we were, it was always part of our plan to retire to France. So, Gilles was in England for 15 years. So, it was always our plan to come here. And originally I had a set of criteria. So, one was that I wanted to be on the sea, and the other was that I wanted to be somewhere where I was scared of being isolated. I think that was the thing that worried me the most, because I don't speak French. I've got to learn it, but I was worried about being in the middle of nowhere. And originally we focused on Languedoc, and then we came north for a variety of reasons. One was a bit worried it was going to be too hot, but also there were lots of other British people in this area where we are. So we're just sort of, where are we? South of Dordogne.
South of Bergerac, aren't we?
South of Bergerac, yeah.
Dordogneshire.
Dordogne.
Where all the expats are.
But
yeah.
I mean,
Lotigron is a little bit Lotigronshire.
it's a bit. But I think Dordoigne's maybe a little bit too English, if you know what I mean. And Lot-et-Garonne is sort of English enough that we get to know lots of people and I don't feel isolated, but French enough to get to know French people as well. So we've ended up here, and when we found this house, we were like, oh my God. And this, you know, we sold our house in England. It was a nice house, but it was small, little plot of land, wimpy house, modern. And for the same price that we were able to buy this, was 7-bedroom villa type house with a swimming pool and a big garden and a big chimney, and
The space is amazing.
The space is amazing, and it's exactly the same price. So that's a lovely thing. That just to be able to, it's a different life that you can live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's worked out well for me. I think that we know lots of people. I feel like we've probably got we know more people here than we did in England.
Oh,
funnily
definitely.
enough.
Yeah.
How, you know, we get to know not just British people, but you know, I think that's what I like about
So
it.
this morning was important, wasn't it? That's every Saturday morning, and that's a mixture of French and English, and they have to speak English and we have to speak French.
And it's got a nice little vibe to it. And it's right next to the pub, which and we go there for the market on a Friday, and it's right next to the pub. So, yeah, I really like it.
So we're talking about the market. I mean, what is, again, back to Jim, really, because this is all new, isn't it? What's your favourite thing about living around here?
Oh, well, in the summer, this village transforms in the summer. So in the winter, there's still a lot going on. The one thing, I'll tell you what I think is a really big difference between England and France. Local authorities, the local mayor, they have very defined responsibilities, but one of them is to build social connections. And so wherever you go, every village has regular events that bring the village together. So you have like a raclette night, or even all through the winter when the tourists are not here, or Mule Freet night, or meet the mayor things, and there's bits of food, and they're very community oriented, and all the villages do it. So you could be in Castlemoron or a Mule Freet, and then you can come here and it'll be a lotto night or something with food, and so that bringing everybody together, and we can all sort of go in and have a drink and have a laugh. And I really think that's a great thing. And I think in the old days, when I was a kid, there was always fates and things going on, but they kind of disappeared. I think the local authorities are busy paying for other things. But here, that still goes on. And I really like that. But Fongrave, small village, 600 people, but they have these night markets all through the summer, and they are amazing. We get 1,200 people coming into the village, tables all over the village green, right on the river in front of the church, musicians and DJs. It's fantastic. And every day you get kids from 3 to 93 dancing away and eating and making the whole village, and it's all local producers bringing their food in, it's cooked for you. It's fantastic. I think it's been in one of your videos, but I've been in a few.
It's my favourite thing.
It's your favourite thing.
It's every Thursday night.
But it's not just Fongrave. The thing is, all the villages have it. So during the summer, you could go every single night. You could go to a market and do that kind of thing. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is the social side of it is incredible. And you would think, if you were to come and visit here in the depths of Wintry, you think, well, this seems like a quiet, sleepy little place. But even in the winter, it's not quiet and sleepy. Even in the winter, they've got these things going on. And I really admire it. I think it's a very good thing.
One of the things that does go on, and I know our viewers, if they spin back, they will have seen, this is where we have our French lessons.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. On Friday mornings, yeah.
we call Gilles the grammar Nazi. Because,
oh my God.
But it's just one of the best lessons ever. You know, we have our cookies, we have a bit of coffee, and it's a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, it's a nice.
But you are tough with us.
No, I'm not.
Well, here's the thing.
In a good way.
I don't want to
the French love their grammar, and Gilles particularly loves his grammar.
put you off.
And we didn't learn grammar, so we're like, what the hell are you talking about? You know,
it's a shame.
All the different. Because he really likes the way language is constructed, and none of us know what the hell he's talking about. So it's funny when he's, and he goes off when you have to sort of go, you lost us about 20 minutes ago. We've got no way.
It's just so complicated for me at the moment. In some ways, I think I'm better off just trying to get a few words in here and there. But to have the understanding of the grammar, and it will all of it. I'm hoping it will. It will fall into place one day.
I think it's beautiful, but I will be a geek or something.
And of course, on the piano, that you hosting that little party where we all sang Christmas carols.
Yeah, that was great.
It was so special. And this space.
Well, it lends itself to that. This space.
You both got married in England.
Yeah.
And now you've come back to France.
Yes. After 15 years in the UK.
You've got that ability to look back now and go, where would I rather be? How do you feel about being back in France, back in Fongrave?
Where do I rather be is here, obviously, because it's a wonderful place, and we got the dream house, and we are...
It is a dream house.
The dream life as well. We opened a bed and breakfast in chambre d'hôte, and
And it's chambre d'hôte, and you're learning to be a chef.
Yes, I can't cook, but I'm on a CAP cuisine course, and we'll see what's.
But the food that you're producing, and when we come for dinner, it's amazing already.
Well, yeah, but it's more good cooking than being a chef. A chef is creative, and invents new flavored combinations and like that. I'm not at this level yet, but I don't think I want to be anyway. I prefer to be a good cook and have a good table where people enjoy the food themselves. And,
so you're a retired vet.
Yeah, I'm retired.
How are you enjoying the hospitality industry?
Yeah, I always wanted to do that, and at some point in my career we were discussing just go for hospitality, but it was a bit safer to continue our own jobs and stay in the UK and with my surgery I had there, and after that, turn the page for the new chapter, and now we're a bit in hospitality, a bit on the side because it's not a big business, but yeah. It's,
but we've had people from all over, haven't we?
Yeah, already.
Maybe a lot of Dutch and Belgians, but we've had quite a lot of French people staying, British, Danish, Iranian. Spanish,
even Iranian,
Spanish. So, and I like that. They're coming here, and we can tell them about the area, and they're very different people. We've had guests everywhere from sort of contractors who come in at like 6 o'clock in the morning and don't get back until 10 o'clock at night. And they're like ghost guests. They just come in, go to bed, and get up in the morning. And then we've had other people. We had a Dutch guy and his girlfriend stay here for 10 days, and it was like a resort. They never left. They just sat by the pool.
Enjoy the food.
I had the food every night, and it's a big variety of different people, and I like that as well. So,
yeah,
it's the people who come to Lotte Garonne. I don't know. You kind of have to know about it to come to it. I don't think it's like Dordogne. They will have heard of Bergerac and that kind of thing. But a lot of people will have not have heard of
I've
Lotte
never heard of the River Lot.
Exactly.
I mean,
no.
And I don't know how, because it's stunning, isn't it?
It is absolutely beautiful. But I think it's one of those, in 20 years' time, I think it will have developed on, because I think it's one of those undiscovered jewels. Do you know what I mean? In the way that I'm sure that 40 years ago Dordogne was like that, but now everybody knows about that, and it's a.
Well, just in the couple of years I've been here, I've seen it growing. I've seen more restaurants opening, more houses being built.
Right.
It's definitely.
You should get that sense that it's being discovered.
But I don't want it to be too discovered.
Well, that's the thing. You get it's the thing is the reason I say that about Aimé. We're going to Aimé this tonight to pantomime.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a very sort of it's in the village hall, but I would say 80% of the audience is going to be English. Yeah. But when you go up there,
never have taken place in a normal
village. You would never get
a lot of the British people there, and they all got together to have this happen. And every year they do a pantomime.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
do. But anyway, the thing about that is, Aimé is lovely, but when you do go there, it is very English. So you've got the fish and chips, and you've got the Indian restaurants, and you get Sunday roast in the restaurants and stuff like that. It is very English, and so for me that's a little bit too far the other way for me. Yes. So I would rather be here because it's very French. So there's a lot of British people here, but it's much more sort of, we're fitting into the French way rather than
Very much so.
Adapted to meet our needs. But if you go to Aimé, it feels very much like the whole village is adapted.
It is so true. When we take a drive to Bergerac, the first thing we do is we sit down, we try and order something, and then they straight away the staff speak to you in English.
Yeah.
You know, like, all I said was bonjour.
But here, most of the people don't speak English. Why would they? They live in France, but just like most people in England don't speak French. But but I quite like that.
One thing I want to ask is, you know, we talked about things you like.
Yeah.
What are the problems living here? What's your biggest problem moving to France?
I think. What did you say?
The language.
Well, the language. I'm struggling with the language, and I'm not picking it up as quickly as I thought. Once I was in a more immersive environment, I would pick it up quicker than I am.
Yeah, and that's living with a Frenchman.
I'm living with a Frenchman. I'm 66.
Perfectly.
Yeah, but you know, our entire.
No, I never got myself to do that. But
Our entire relationship has been conducted in English. That's our love language. So it's quite a difficult thing to. Change that, but so the language is an issue. I think there are things that were in my routine when I was in England that I do miss. Like I would just go out and sit in a Costa Coffee for a few hours and go on the internet, and you know I quite enjoyed that, or read my paper and that kind of thing. And here. We're in rural France, so it's very much sort of like structured. Okay, well, first of all, I miss breakfast. It's almost impossible to, unless you just want a croissant and a cup of coffee, it's impossible to find a breakfast.
Full English breakfast.
And I'm not that keen on croissants, so it's very difficult. It doesn't have to be a full English, but it's very hard to find a breakfast.
bacon butty.
Yeah. McDonald's does a bacon and egg muffin. But they often don't open till 10 o'clock, so it's a bit sort of, the horse is bolted by 10.
I miss things like pies and fish and chips.
Yeah, I miss it a little bit. I think the food is good, so I wouldn't say that I miss that a lot, but I miss that sort of, you know, like you're in the afternoon, you've been shopping, and you say, should we go somewhere for a cup of coffee? But the brasserie closes at 2:30 and doesn't reopen until 5. You know, that sort of 24-hour immediate access to things isn't the same here. And I probably do miss that a bit, just the ease to be able to do that. But, you know, it's compensated for by so many other things.
I miss the pub life. I mean, go into a nice pub and have a pint of Guinness. I mean, I'm the only person drinking beer here, which is very. But I do miss the old pubs and the fact that you can just walk into a pub with a big roaring fire. That doesn't happen here, does it?
No. Not really.
Not really. And the brasseries.
Culture, but it's not.
It's a different culture.
Different culture, yeah. Well, we've got a small cafe in the village, but obviously it could be open a bit more. But we should be able to walk down to the cafe and a beer or a coffee.
As villages go, it's a small village. We've got a restaurant of sorts. In the summer, they've got a lovely beer garden. That's lovely in the summer. You know, when we go to the market, and then afterwards we go sit in the beer garden till midnight drinking beer and stuff. And that's lovely, and I really like that. And that's literally 3 minutes walk from the front door. But I think a lot of the drinking that goes on in France is framed around food in a way that it's changing a bit in Britain. A lot of the pubs now, it's all about the food, isn't it? But here, it's always been about the food. So the drink, there's a lot of drinking that goes on. I don't think it's a country that doesn't enjoy its drinking, but it's framed around food, I think. And that's different, and you have to get used to that. There's a lot of daytime drinking in France that I think we drink more during the day than we've ever drunk before, and we drink less in the evening, because in Britain it seems to be more a drink. Yeah, and they still, work-wise, it always surprises me how many tradesmen and professionals and stuff will go for lunch and they'll happily drink two or three glasses of wine and then go back to work. And that's disappeared in England. That used to be a thing. In France, they stop, and they stop for 2 hours. And when we were having the refurb done, it was funny to watch that. They'd come a long way from Argent or something to come and do the work. And they were coming, but if you came to the house would be full of tradesmen doing work. At noon,
12,
you would come and it was empty.
Empty, or they were on the terrace on the.
Oh, they were. Yeah, they might have been out, but they stop for their 2 hours no matter what, and they're going to have their 2 hour lunch, and then they go back to work again. And that can get you sort of like, oh, for goodness sake. But actually, I think it's a nice thing.
So to sum up, a good move. You pleased?
Oh yeah. No, it's been it's gone smoother and better than I ever expected. I don't know whether we've just been exceptionally lucky, but I think it's been better than we expected.
So you're not moving back anytime?
We're not moving back anytime soon.
No.
Well, I suppose as we say, I guess that's it. That's your lot.
That's your lot.
From the lot.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
How bad was that?
That's okay.